According to the Center for Disease Control, 78 million American adults and 12 million American children are considered obese. Obesity and its related diseases are a very serious problem for the people of the United States of America. The core contributing factor to the obesity endemic is the standard American diet. The standard American diet is high in sodium, it's high in processed food, it's high in saturated fats, and very low in nutrient-rich items. These food components and just poor eating habits in general can lead to obesity, and which can in turn lead to cardiovascular disease and high blood pressure. Americans need to re-examine their attitudes towards common cuisine and consider more healthful modifications. Revamping America's standard diet to include plant-based options and fewer processed foods will lead to better health and prolong life expectancy for Americans. While restricting the amount of sodium you consume or the kind of fats you consume can be beneficial, the dietary modification that will yield the highest and most significant results would be to omit the most harmful components, and that would mean reducing, if not completely omitting, animal protein intake or becoming a vegetarian. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine is a health and nutrition agency that advocates for the advancement of plant-based diets. The organization's main focus is to spread awareness about the harmful effects of animal proteins, especially from processed meats. And processed meat consumption is very abundant in America. Processed meats include sausages, sandwich slices, bacon. Processed meats are harmful because they have been preserved with additives, cured, smoked, or salted to improve their color, taste, and durability. That's per the Physicians Responsible Health Committee. Studies have linked diets high in meat consumption to earlier death as compared to diets composed of little animal protein. The study found that people younger than 65 who ate mostly animal protein had a 74% increased risk for death and a 4 times increased risk of acquiring cancer. During this 18-year study, people who had very little animal protein or none at all had a diminished risk of death and a reduced risk of cancer. So, as Americans, the idea of becoming a vegetarian or, putting down your hamburger can be completely unthinkable. But the good news is that plant-based diets offer flexibility. There are substitution studies, according to the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, that show that replacing even one processed meat product a day with nuts or beans will decrease risk of disease by up to 19%. Some potential barriers to adopting plant-based diets or even just increasing fruit and vegetable intake is perceived costs or nutrient deficiencies. People tend to believe that if you purchase a lot of produce that you'll spend more money on your grocery bill. A study taken by the Women's Health and Living Habits organization found that there's very minimal grocery increase. People with vegetarian diets only spent about $1 more per person per week. In regards to nutrient deficiencies, any irons, proteins, calcium, they can all be found in plant-based foods, vegetables, beans, and things of that nature. And nutrients can also be supplemented easily with the multivitamin. Regardless of whether or not somebody fully omits meat from their diet, increased consumption of vegetables and fruits will reduce your risk of obesity and additionally reduce risk of chronic diseases. it's time that we realize that the things that we eat, even though they're really tasty, contribute to poor health and shorter life expectancy. When it comes to your life, I'm sure anybody would consider giving up that extra cheeseburger, or maybe just the bacon on top of your cheeseburger, that it's worth living a little bit longer to make healthier choices.